Hello guys, today we talk about the box office here for Friday. Obviously, there's lots of times we do talk about the Friday box office. We didn't talk about yesterday's box office as it wasn't really, because the holidays are finally over and Mufasa is still number one. So it's been a battle between Mufasa and Sonic for the number one movie of the week as well. And it's going to be a close battle because Sonic 3 could, of course, defeat Mufasa on Saturday and Sunday. It's very, very close. It's not a huge win for Mufasa, but it is gained within 20 million gross as well, which means there's a possibility both movies actually might make a similar amount at the box office as well. But Sonic 3 is still making a lot of money. But Mufasa is outgrossing Sonic 3 as well. But we'll wait to see what happens, of course, throughout January as well. But I'm just astonished that so many people actually want to see this movie. Like, I haven't seen the movie. I really like the Lion King remakes as well. Yeah, and Mufasa, the Lion King. It seems there is a lot of people who are fans of Lion King. I think you're going to see this movie because, of course, Lion King does have fans. But obviously, this movie, the weekend numbers, and this movie is going to likely make around $20 million on its weekend. Sonic 3 having a very, very similar amount made as well at the box office here. But Mufasa has a 37% drop from last weekend, which was a holiday weekend, which means we're going to start seeing normal weekends drops as well. Mufasa also lost several hundred theaters as well, going down from 4,100 to around 3,925 as well. There was a conspiracy theory that Disney did this that Disney released Mufasa in a lot of theaters on purpose to choke out Sonic 3. However, Sonic 3 is still didn't really lose that many theaters compared to Mufasa, only losing several 20 theaters, which means theaters want to have Sonic 3 in the theaters still, and the movie has so far made $133 million as well, with $112 million internationally as well, as they had updated those as well, which means Sonic 3 will likely break even. Even if I don't like Mufasa or Lion King that much, it is pretty good that Disney is at least having somewhat of box office success, because Sonic 3 is going to make more money than Mufasa. Okay, that's it's a lower budget movie, obviously, compared to Mufasa. Half the budget of Mufasa, and it needs far less money to break even than Mufasa. So if Sonic 3 makes $500 million globally, for example, the movie could theoretically make more money than Mufasa if Mufasa makes like $550 million globally, at the end of its run, or $600 million globally at the end of its run. It will make $100 million more. Sonic will make like $200 to $300 million for Paramount as well. So the profitability is key here. If you compare Mufasa versus the original Lion King remake, which released in 2019, well, it is still doing far worse, obviously, than the first Lion King, which here, and adjusted for inflation, the Lion King remake is actually outgrossing this movie. There was only one weekend where the Mufasa actually outgrossed it, and that was because of the holidays. It was a holiday week, it was New Year's Day. So, but outside of that, the Lion King remake is doing far worse than the first Lion King remake did. The first Lion King remake, adjusting for inflation, made $225 million. The Mufasa opened to $45 million. At this current moment, it's $475 million domestic versus $152. And the original Lion King remake ended up making $633 million globally as well. Yeah. Which means there is still a lot of potential money to be made with this movie, unlike Sonic 3. Because you adjusted for inflation, this movie made it Mufasa. The original Lion King remake made it $100 million as well. Another $130 to $140 million. I think it'll be much more small because Lion King is a huge movie. The Lion King remake was. But I think it'll make another $50 to $60 million almost certainly in the US as well. Heck, it could even make way more money than we think as well. As I do tend to underreport holiday movies, as with my models, holiday movies aren't really put in as a factor. So yeah, lifetime box office grosses, I do sometimes tend to underestimate those, and I'll try. It's very hard to predict because sometimes movies can underperform internationally, like Despicable Me 4, and sometimes movies can overperform internationally, like Inside Out 2, as well. It seems that Mufasa Lion King is underperforming massively domestically, and even internationally, as the first Lion King remake made $1.3 billion internationally. But I did underestimate this movie 100%, as well as its potential for box office success. And I do apologize for that as well. So Mufasa, Lion King, and Sonic 3, which I think Sonic 3 is going to making a lot of money as I said it would, but it will be very, very, very hard for this movie to pass 600 to make $600 million or make $1 billion. I don't think this movie is gonna make $1 billion because Sonic is not a huge franchise. It used to be in the '90s, obviously, but Sonic has taken so much beatings, throughout the years as a franchise due to poor treatment from Sega. Okay, that Sonic isn't as popular as Sonic should be. Okay, like Mario hasn't really. The reason why Mario is still so popular and why that movie made $1 billion is because Mario has never had real bad, huge major games. Mario has had bad spin-offs, obviously, but out of the major games, the only truly bad mainline Mario game is New Super Mario Bros. 2, and that's mostly because the game was bland, boring, uninteresting, and it was just a not an interesting game. The difference between Mario's worst game and Sonic's worst games is Sonic had two games that released were straight up unplayable at once. Which is why Sonic games and Sonic and even the Sonic movies do not sell as well as you think. Despite doing everything you can to please the Sonic fandom, it seems that a lot of people don't really care about Sonic because of how Sega treated the franchise. I think it's going to take a while for Sega to really, make Sonic popular again like it was in the 90s, because you have to make goodwill with the fandom instead of releasing, one high quality game and then one mediocre game next way, So yes, Sega is partially to blame why Sonic movies are not doing as well as you think they would be doing as well, but the movie is still a huge success from the greenlight a fourth movie as well. So we just updated Sonic and Mufasa. You can definitely see the difference here. Despite Mufasa making $100 million more globally than Sonic, it lost more money. It's gonna take $122 million more dollars globally for Mufasa to break even. And we don't know how January is gonna go. We don't know how the new movies are gonna perform against these movies. There's several decently major movies coming out like Wolfman, Den of Thieves 2. There is, of course, Dogman coming out as well. Okay, these are three huge movies. Obviously, Dogman is based off a popular children's book. And, of course, there's the other two movies, Wolfman, which is based off has been redone by Hollywood several times, but they're making a new version of that, which could tie people over for Captain America being the first quote-unquote major movie of the year. But with Mufasa, you have to still deal with Sonic as well, and also Dogman coming later on as well, which could eat into Mufasa's sales a little bit as well. So Mufasa or Lion King, then you have Nosferatu, which I haven't put in the numbers for this movie yet. So Nosferatu needs to make $62 million more globally to break even. I think judging based off how well this movie has been doing, I think that is a feasible amount to make. Obviously, the thing is, this movie has only made $60 million domestically, which again, that's a very big number for it's based off a old legend, a old tale. So, it's saying Nosferatu in 2024. So this movie is about a legend basically, and I think this movie has been doing pretty well as well. So, Nosferatu has been doing pretty well at the box office as well. This movie still needs a lot more money to break even. Next is Moana 2, which has made $918 million globally. But the thing is, this movie is out competing with newer movies internationally. And the movie will make another $12 million domestically as well. But could Moana 2 make $1 billion globally? It's a possibility. But the thing is, this movie is the holidays are already over for this movie, okay? That's the only con of this movie not hitting $1 billion, is the holidays are already over. So this movie probably doesn't have a lot of gas left in the tank because it's not a movie that people really liked that much. Like, this is a movie that people didn't really care for that much. Usually, if people don't really care for a movie that much, it doesn't have good ratings. If you saw right before the holidays, this movie wasn't doing too well. Heck, Wicked, which came out a week before Moana 2, which is even more embarrassing for this movie, was outgrossing it at many of the days of the holidays, as we saw. So Moana 2, again, the movie might still make $1 billion, but we'll see. Wait to see. Next is Wicked, which has made $653 million globally. Which, unlike Gladiator 3, this movie made a lot of money domestically. $443 million domestically is nothing to sneeze at. And for a while, this was actually outgrossing Moana 2. Okay? It was outbeating Moana 2 at the domestic box office. This is pretty embarrassing for Moana 2. And no, I do not think this movie is going to make $500 million domestically. As well, unless it has insane legs throughout the next couple of weeks, I just don't think it's going to make $500 million domestically as well. So that is it for Wicked. A complete unknown. This is a newer movie. $75 million budget. This is a flop, 100%. So yeah, this is a complete 100% flop. Every Christmas we have this flop, but this is based off the greatest songwriter. If the quote unquote greatest songwriter of all time can't sell, tickets, it just really shows that, people really don't care for this Timothy Chalamet person as much as the media says they did. So, sucks to be Disney. Baby Girl, which is made by Amazon as well. Not Amazon, A24. Don't know the budget for this movie. I could look it up, but I'm too lazy to. So this movie is a more minor movie. It's an A24 movie. So it's meant for more like the film buffs, obviously. Then we have Gladiator 2, which made $38 million. This movie is basically done with its box office run as well. Not really. This movie didn't really do too well. And we can make it official. We were right. Gladiator 2 would lose money. It wouldn't break even. Okay? We can pat ourselves on the back with Gladiator 2. Also, Homestead still a recent. Fire Inside is even a bigger flop. Kraven the Hunter, that movie's basically done. That Lord of the Rings movie is basically done. Wild Robot is still in theaters, but Better Man, this is a huge flop too. No, they really thought this was a good idea. Okay? Again, Robbie Williams is not really well known outside the UK, but they really thought this was a good idea. I get it was his idea, but they really thought this movie isn't out in a wide release yet outside the UK. But this movie is gonna fail. $110 million budget, as we see here, and this movie has $110 million that you can definitely see that no one cares about this movie. Again, this movie hasn't really released in many theaters. I think it was a huge missed opportunity, obviously, to not release this in a wide release, because it could have definitely made a lot of more money than just having this stupid limited to wide release. I really wish I can get rid of this whole system. Okay, they could have easily made a lot of money. Paramount could have, but they decided to do the stupid. Oh, we're gonna release in 5 theaters and no one watches it, and then the movie flops because then they finally release it into a wide release. Into 2,000 theaters. This is a stupid. If you really want to make money, why did you avoid the holiday season? Unless you really think this movie is gonna be a huge failure and a huge flop, okay? As well, the same way, of course, for Martin Luther King weekend, which I think that's next week. I think, but this movie is a huge flop. Paramount, Robbie Williams should be definitely ashamed of themselves for this. I was gonna make this a separate video, but hey. We'll talk about the box office, then we're going to talk about this movie and the budget for this movie. So far, it has grossed only 100,000. Why didn't they just release it in wide release, 2,000 theaters in Christmas? I really don't understand why they do this. Okay, it would make sense if it was a movie that released in in the beginning of January, and then they wanted to release the movie in a wider release. Or was a movie for an Oscar, but this is a $110 million budget movie, and they really thought it was a good idea to release the movie in 6 theaters. Okay, when they could have really made the most amount of money in Christmas. I really don't get this. Hollywood is really stupid, unintelligent, not too surprising as well. Releasing a major movie in 6 theaters while everybody else is making a huge amount of money around Christmas. It's just really a bad idea from Paramount as well. So yeah, that's about this video here. Goodbye.